everybody, I'm Nora, and tonight I am discussing natural childbirth and how I decided to home birth. What drove me to even consider it. Like everybody always asks me, why home birth? Why would you even want to have a baby without drugs, without medication? And furthermore, some women prefer cesareans. Like why wouldn't you want to do that? It's an option. We have all these doctors, and they can just take the baby when you can schedule it nowadays. So why on earth would any person in 2018 desire a home birth? And for me, I believe that it was just the best choice for me. I think making decisions about your body and things like that are very important. You only have one body, you have to take care of it. I value my body, and I'm not just okay with turning it over to anybody. I don't care if they have credentials, MD, OBGYN. I don't care if that's what they have behind their name. So for me, I thought it was important to learn everything I could about childbirth. When I became pregnant for the first time, it was like, wow, like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what? Like I don't know about you, but I was surprised. So I'm like, this is new, and what did I always do before if I didn't know anything about it? Like, if it was my first time, and guess what I always did? I always went to school. I got a coach, a tutor. I remember in college, like I never had chemistry. So I was one of those people who didn't take chemistry in high school, and I didn't know anything about it. So I hired a tutor, I hired one. I went to after class sessions or whatever. I met with the TA and things like that. Like I just had to figure it out. And so I did the same thing with my births. I educated myself. The more I educated myself, I don't know, sorry, I just feel like my glasses look crooked. Am I tripping? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, I felt like I needed to learn everything I needed to know, and the more I learned, the more I realized, natural childbirth is probably the way to go. It's the best thing for me. And furthermore, my mother gave birth to me in the hospital without any drugs. She was anti-drugs, cesarean sections, any of that. She was like, no. So she told me she had me naturally, and I was like, you know what? My mom's strong. She's strong. So if she can do it, I can do it. Even though I feel like I can't tolerate any pain. I always thought like, I get pregnant, and when I gave birth, I was gonna get an epidural. I was gonna go to the hospital, and they were just gonna do everything for me, And as I began to read and learn and listen to other women's stories, it occurred to me that natural childbirth is what I should do. And furthermore, being a spouse of a man who was in the Army at the time, and I knew he was gonna have to go deploy or whatnot, I thought it was in my best interest to not put my unborn child's life and my life directly into a doctor's hand and say, hey, take over, blindly while my husband's away somewhere and not near me, So I felt like it was something I needed to take charge of. It's my body, it's my baby, I can't just, nobody's gonna just magically do anything for you. That comes with risk. So I was like, I wanna, forgo all those risks. I wanna take charge of my body and my birth. And so I said, you know what? Well, let me figure out how to get a midwife, those types of things. So I did my research. I read all these books. I took a Bradley Method course, which was pretty amazing. It's like 12 weeks, and it's on natural childbirth, and it's partner centered. It's pretty great. And I learned I just absorbed everything I could. I joined groups, all of that, and just to figure it out. And sure enough, it worked. It became possible. I ended up having successful home births with excellent midwives. And it turned out to be the best thing for me and my body. I can't say I regret anything about it. I will say immediately after I had my first home birth, I got that cocktail of hormones, and it gives you that magical, I can do anything I mean, it, it's better than any drug. I don't know if any of you try drugs, probably, whatever. But talk about a high, that is amazing. Okay. And it made me feel so feminine and so powerful and so smart. And so just everything was just like, and that happens, it's called a birth high. And like literally every birth I've had, I felt it. And I just wish other women could feel it too. Like I'm always like, oh, if you don't have any drugs in your system, when you have your baby, you feel this. It's amazing. And hopefully if you're not too wore out, like some women, they are just been in labor for days, and by the time they finally have a baby, that cocktail might, hit them, but they may be too, it just doesn't work out. But for the most part, if you have a drug-free birth, you will feel this birth high, and it's amazing. And I don't know, I just feel like it just changes your life. And so I just really, really, really want other women, especially other women of color or brown women, black women, such as myself, to experience such a thing. And hiring a midwife is getting you one step closer to doing that. And I'm not just talking about a midwife that you have in a hospital that is attached to your doctor. I'm talking about taking advantage of these wonderful midwives who are at freestanding birth clinics, that's out there really doing the hard work of delivering babies at home and in birth centers and empowering the women. Like those are the women I would, I'm for, and I'm not saying the ones in the hospital or something wrong with them. Like I'm sure there's excellent ones in there as well that are doing the good work of supporting women and making sure they're heard and they're giving proper consent and allow choices, because that's what's important. I think some women, they just go with the whole, I'm going to the doctor, they're going to just do everything for me, I don't have to do anything. And there's some nurses who are okay with that. They know, they just push you through, like, all right, this is what you're doing, they're telling you what to do, and if you're comfortable with that, that's great. More power to you. Everybody makes their own choices. As for me, I just know that's just not something that I like. I don't like people telling me what I have to do with myself and what I'm gonna do. So whatever. See, now I didn't forget what I was sitting got off on that. All right. So, choosing a midwife. I know for me, I wanted an ethnic midwife. I wanted a black midwife. Okay. Let me tell you. Okay. I mean, my first midwives, I couldn't find one. I was in Carlsbad, San Diego, and I didn't know any black midwives. I didn't know of any practicing. I didn't know anybody here. So I did all my research and I found some really great midwives, some Caucasian midwives, and they were awesome, sweet. They were great. All that. I had a white doula as well, and she was cool. I was her first birth. She was sweet. It was great. But my subsequent births, I was fortunate enough to hire black midwives. And shout out to Claudia Booker. Shout out to Darren A at Birth Roots. Claudia Booker, she's Birthing Hands DC. Amazing. And birthing with Claudia was like my auntie. It was amazing. Like she fit right in with our family. It was amazing. I like the way she talked to me. I like the way she tell me stuff. Like we just relate. Okay. And I felt like I was in great hands. Birthing Hands. That's the name of her birthing company. Birthing Hands. Amazing. Okay. Everything. Same thing with Birth Roots. Darren A. Awesome. Sweet. Talk to me, tell me like it is, just like, us black folks like to do with each other. I love it. And I think that really contributed to me having excellent births with them. I appreciate that. And nothing can take that place. No doctor in the hospital. I don't care. You got a black OBGYN in the hospital, fabulous. But it's nothing like that. That midwife. I don't know. I just love that. So, and also, guess what? And you can continue going to these midwives as well. You can continue. I know you feel like you're paying extra money. If your insurance won't cover all of it, but they'll cover half of it. I had, military insurance, and yes, we had to pay out of pocket for them, but guess what, it was worth it. Okay, just think, people spend so much money on weddings and shoes and clothes and bags. You can save your money and and set up monthly plans with these midwives and get the job done. Why not invest in your body? It's all you got. Why not invest in that? Have that midwife so she supports you. She makes sure they help you to support the perineum, help you make sure you take your time so you don't tear and rip. Although some women still tear and rip, that's fine, whatever. But they try to make it their duty to help you so you those things don't happen. Versus, your OBGYN is just like, oh, whatever. I can just snip you, or I can always just sew you back up. And midwives can sew you up as well. But I mean, typically they would prefer that not even to happen. Like, who even wants to deal with that? Just because they know how to do it, or they're bored, they need something to do. Like, no. And it's amazing. I mean, it's just the love. Choose wisely. Please, just choose wisely. That's what I say. Birthing centers are great. If you just don't feel comfortable enough to birth in your own home, birthing centers are awesome too. You get that water birth or whatever you want. Hopefully I answered your question about why I chose a midwife and going that route. Oh, I forgot to say this. Going to a midwife, once you hire them, they can also do your yearly women exams, things like that, your pap smears. Like, they can handle all that, and they're excellent and way more, like, they're not as pushy. They ask for consent, or can I touch you? That's important. A lot of women have been through things that that may take their power away, or they don't feel like they have control, or they own their bodies. And midwives, they give you that control back, which is awesome. I mean, at birth roots, they did my pap, all that type of stuff. And guess what? They asked me, and they gave me a choice who was going to put the speculum in. Who does that? Huh? I've never been to OBGYN that's like, if you don't want me to do it, are you more comfortable with Brittany over here? They never asked me that. And I loved it. And I felt so empowered, like, wow, and more women need to feel that way about their bodies. It's so important. Hopefully I answered your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, my name is Nora. You can find me on Instagram at NoraLou. And thank you.